Hiya, it's Monday, so welcome back to We Are All Fine, the space where we can talk honestly about what it means to grow up, mess up, and figure it all out. I'm Heidi. I'm a counsellor and psychotherapist, and in today's episode 17, we're diving into something that every human being faces, and that's rejection. Whether it's being ghosted, not getting the job, the text back, or the friendship you hope for, rejection stings. It leaves its mark on your self-esteem and can re-trigger old but familiar feelings, but it doesn't have to break you. This episode is going to take us in a couple of directions. First, I'm going to talk about why rejection hurts us so much. Then I'll talk about rejection sensitivity, what that looks like, how that might show up for you. And then I'll bring us to a nice ending by talking about how counselling and getting therapeutic support can help you handle rejection more healthily. Firstly then, why does rejection hurt us all so much? I'll start by reassuring you that it's not just in your head. Your brain actually processes rejection like physical pain. And many studies show that the same part of your brain that lights up when you stub your toe also activates when someone shuts you out or says no. Why? Because way back in our caveman days, being part of a group meant survival. So when we felt left out, our brain panics like we've been kicked out of the tribe, that we're going to be on our own. But here's the thing, just because your brain's alarm is going off doesn't mean you're actually in danger. It just means your body is doing everything right. It's hardwired into your survival system. Now, I have been rejected so many times, and I know that when I have throughout my life, my self-worth feels like it's been instantly attacked, and it will trigger questions that I often ask myself. Am I not good enough? What did I do wrong? Or why am I not lovable? Now, this will quickly spiral into shame, which is one of the most painful human emotions. The pain isn't just about what happened, it's about what we think it means to us. It's how our brains perceive it. And this will lead to reactivating past feelings, and I've got many of these, being rejected by my own family, of being unwanted, unseen, or unloved. Especially if you've experienced things similar to me, family trauma, emotional neglect, bullying, or any kind of rejection or withdrawal of affection. So rejection hurts because it affects your brain, your identity, and your survival instinct, and your emotional history. This happens to you all at once at the same time. So the way you will respond will be through pain and emotions, because that's what rejection brings out in us. Now, if you've been following me on TikTok, you'd have seen a video I made about rejection sensitivity. Now, this is the tendency to feel intense emotional pain or anxiety in response to real or perceived rejection, criticism, or disapproval, even in small or ambiguous situations. It's not just about taking things personally, it's much more than that. It's a heightened, often overwhelming sensitivity that can affect how you think, feel, and will behave in relationships. Let's look at what rejection sensitivity might look like. You're going to probably read into things too deeply. So you might think someone is angry, disappointed, or withdrawing from you, even if they haven't said or done anything that evidences that they have been rejecting you. These emotional overreactions will make you feel crushed, ashamed, or panicked, even by mild or imagined slights. Now, this is what I'm saying here. They're not always going to be real. It's how you are sensitive to the messages and the relationships that you're picking up on around you. If rejection sensitivity is something you experience, you're going to try and avoid. You won't get into relationships, you'll avoid jobs or any kind of maybe creative work or any kind of hobby out of total fear of rejection. You're more than likely going to have people-pleasing tendencies. You'll go above and beyond just to be liked or accepted, all to avoid any chance of disapproval. And another element I'm familiar with when it comes to rejection sensitivity is you'll be angry and you'll withdraw. You'll react defensively and you'll shut down the moment you start to feel rejected. Now, it's normal A lot of people suffer from this, and it comes from childhood experiences, again leading to neglect, criticism, or that inconsistent love, affection, or acceptance. All of these just mentioned would have been experienced by you in the different relationships you'd have had growing up. It also comes from trauma or bullying. It can also be heavily connected if you've got ADHD, borderline personality disorder, or some level of social anxiety. The fear will be very much grounded in not being accepted and rejected. So if any of this is talking to the part of you that struggles with rejection, you need to carry on listening to what you can do when rejection hits. But let's make way for the counsellor's question. Now, this is on the back of episode 15 of We Are All Fine, which saw us all talk about how to survive the family drama and protect ourselves when the family dynamics are way too challenging. The question I was sent is this: what do you do when the people who are supposed to love you the most are also the ones who hurt you the most? You know who sent this, so thank you so much. This is one of the most hardest emotional truths to sit with, isn't it? We're taught to believe that family is meant to be safe, supportive, and unconditional. So when you're constantly let down, criticised, dismissed, or even emotionally harmed by family members, it creates an intense internal conflict. You'll be bouncing questions around in your head like, do I feel emotionally safe now? So let me gently encourage you to ask yourself these questions. Number 1, do I feel emotionally safe around them? Number 2, do I walk on eggshells in these relationships? Am I always wary or watching my back? Or number 3, what would it look like to actually protect my own peace? Now, exploring your perceptions of your family life in this way is going to allow you to stand out of the pain you're feeling, which doesn't belong to you, by the way, and give you the space you need to work out what to do next. So when you've been able to reflect and answer those 3 questions, here's what you can do when you find yourself in that painful place. You need to acknowledge both realities. Now, you're allowed to hold 2 truths: that someone loved or cared for you in some ways, but that they can also cause you pain. Accepting both of those realities are going to be able to help you navigate through the difficult emotions that you're suffering and stop minimizing your experiences. Often I see this a lot. We downplay hurtful behaviour because we were taught that family is everything, or they didn't mean it, or just Uncle John, that's what he always does. But harm is still harm, even if it wasn't intentional, and can often be historic and grained into that family DNA. You don't have to justify how someone treated you just because they're family. So set your boundaries without guilt. Let me tell you this: you're allowed to say no to conversations or visits that leave you feeling drained. And you can decide how much access someone has to your life, redefine your relationship, or even take space if that's what you need to feel safe. Putting those boundaries there without that awful payback of guilt will really help you get back in control and accept what's going on around you and give you permission to control what you can. I've supported thousands and thousands of young people in my career, and the majority of them have got issues with family relationships or dynamics. So I encourage them to explore and grieve the relationships that they didn't have. I think it's okay to grieve the version of the family you wish you had. I do this. I have not had a traditional family, and I've got nobody in my corner now except my husband, a few friends, my sister and my children, and of course my cats. It's very hard to wrap your head around what you don't have. Now, often that doesn't bother me, but my goodness me, I can get triggered and re-triggered, and rejection on any level always takes me back to the lacks, the things I don't have, the family I don't have to rely on or support me in any way, shape or form. I might never get the apology just like you, and I certainly won't get the acknowledgement at this stage. I didn't have the closeness I hoped for, and it does hurt sometimes, but I know through my own therapy, by naming that loss, helped me heal, and I really hope that you can take something from that as well. So my final thought regarding this question for a counsellor is this: sometimes the bravest thing you can do is admit that love isn't always enough, and you choose your peace, even if it means stepping back from people who were supposed to protect you. Family are important, but not if the payback from you is pain, discontentment, distress, and fear. As a counsellor working with young people, rejection is a common theme in the therapy room, and I know how much therapy will help you connect the dots between the past pain and the present reactions, so you're not reacting blindly, but from a place of self-awareness. I know how powerful counselling can be, so if you're thinking about seeking some counselling support, let me share with you now how counselling can help you if you feel that sting of rejection a little bit too sharply, or maybe you've got some kind of rejection sensitivity sitting in your personality somewhere. When you work with a counsellor, they're going to be able to help you name and validate your pain. So in counselling, you're going to have the space to say, this really hurts me, without being told to get over it or move on or being judged. Rejection is often dismissed by other people around us in everyday life. But with therapy, you are going to be allowed to feel it, name it and process it, and you'll be in safe hands while you do so. Counselling is a fantastic landscape to allow you to explore the stories you tell yourself. Rejection will spiral into thoughts like you're not good enough, no one ever chooses me, I must have done something wrong. Now, counselling will help you slow down and challenge those narratives one at a time, but I put them through a reality machine. I get the client to tell me what their thought spiral might be, and then I ask them to show me where the reality is, bring the evidence to the room, and many people can't do that. These core beliefs are baked in history and often get confused or marinated, if you like, throughout the years, and they can often end up being inaccurate. So in therapy, I help the client replace them with more balanced, compassionate thoughts. Being in therapy and working safely and ethically and professionally with a fully trained and qualified counsellor will give you the power and permission to link your present to the past. Sometimes rejection hits harder than expected because it echoes older experiences that have been nuzzled away and hiding in your history. Things like being left out as a child, emotional neglect, or past breakups or betrayals. So your counsellor will help you notice those patterns and heal those deeper wounds that rejection touches. I'm speaking from experience here, but the aim of most counselling relationships, or certainly an element of them, is allowing the client to build emotional resilience. So as a counsellor, I will work to help my clients understand and regulate their emotional responses. You're going to learn some self-soothing techniques, grounding, journaling, breath work, meditation, and you're going to strengthen your sense of self-worth. So when rejection does come knocking, you won't be knocked over as easily. By practicing self-compassion, being kinder to yourself, especially after rejection, and learning not to chase the validation from others, will give you a fantastic place to start building and setting those healthier boundaries that you know and I know you need around your relationships and your emotional energy. And finally, I'd say that reconnecting with who you are, not who rejected you, is a powerful exercise you can complete with your therapist. Rejection can make you feel like you've lost something, and counselling will help you reconnect with your strengths, your values, and ask the direct question without any judgment or criticism: what do you want? Counselling doesn't stop you from ever being rejected again. Sadly, I can't promise that's not going to happen, because that's part of being human, it's part of growing up, it's a part of being an adult. But what counselling does, it will give you the tools to handle it without falling apart, and maybe one day to even see rejection as a kind of redirection. Thank you for sharing your time with me today. I really do enjoy putting these podcasts together. I don't know who's listening. I know you are. I see my figures. But if this episode speaks to something inside of you, know you're not alone, and you're definitely not broken. I don't like rejection, you don't like rejection, but learning how to handle this with more self-respect, one day at a time, is only going to help you as you continue on your development. So follow the podcast, share it with a friend who needs it, and if you're ready to take it deeper, consider talking to a counsellor. You're worth that support. My name is Heidi. I'm a counsellor and psychotherapist. We've talked about rejection this week and how counselling can help embed and strengthen your personality when it comes to dealing with any future rejection, because there will be some. Join me next week for episode 18, a reflective show to help you to slow down, relax and reset. And I thought, now the exams are done, the dissertations are in, uni's over permanently for some of you, colleges and schools have all broken up for the summer. You deserve a moment to catch your breath and ask yourself, what now? So please email me if you've got any concerns or anything you'd like me to discuss in next week's podcast, episode 18, around what happens now, the summer, the year, the rest of your life. Email me, Heidi, weareallfine@gmail.com, or get hold of me via TikTok, Instagram, Facebook and YouTube. I value every single piece of feedback I get. This is still in its infancy. We're only on episode 17. I've really appreciated all your feedback so far. I'm here to learn from you, as I hope you're learning something from me. We are all flawed, insecure, nervous and emotional, but always remember, be yourself. You are no one else. Until next time, you take care. Finally, some important takeaways. The podcast is for informational use only and should not be used as a substitution for professional advice or for personal diagnosis. These opinions are personal, and I do not guarantee the accuracy of such opinions or information. I'm not intending to create a counselling relationship with you, and you should always consult a qualified mental health professional with any concerns.